Hey guys, what's up? It's the Pie Guy, and I'm actually out taking my dog Finn for a walk. He stops to sniff things and all that. I figured I'd make this quick little video because I get a lot of stupid questions. I'm gonna be so honest. I get a lot of valid questions, but I get a lot of stupid questions. Because you see, about 2.5 months ago now, I fell off of a concrete wall, the dike near the river close to my campus, and I broke both of my arms. Well, technically both of my wrists, but everything I had to undergo after that was essentially what would happen if I broke both of my arms. Full arm casts, all this stuff. The whole process, I explained exactly what happened and some stuff about the hospital and all that in a previous YouTube video. By the way, sorry if it's really windy. It's kind of rainy here. Just figured I'd film this while out and about instead of sitting down inside. Well, anyway, I explained that whole thing, and since then I've done live streams, I've done videos, all this stuff, and now, as you can see, well, I'm holding a doggy bag here. It's kind of gross, but my wrists are like way more functional than they were before. And whenever I stop, it's because Finn is just sniffing the grass. All right, so this video is not about how I broke my arms. If you want to see that, I made a separate video about that like 2 months ago. This video is about the entire everything after that. Answering a bunch of questions, valid questions, ridiculous, stupid questions people ask me, talking about my experiences, how I've gone through my daily life, the good things, the bad things, because there were some good things. And yeah, so that's basically what this video is going to be. But by the way, if you haven't already, you should totally subscribe and like the video. But mainly subscribe. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And I go live all the time too. So if normal videos aren't your thing, then I'm always live on YouTube and on Twitch, playing games with chat and hanging out with friends and talking to chat. So anyway, you should consider doing that. I give updates all the time on random stuff, and it's just a good time. Anyway, enough self-promotion. So first off, my classes. Like I explained, I think in a previous video or live stream or something, I couldn't go to like Danville, where I live, right afterwards. Come on, Finnegan. He's like stopping to sniff something forever. Right when it happened, I had to go to class the next day. I had labs, and I couldn't miss going to my mechanical engineering labs. So I had to do that. That was horrible. Immediately, everybody thought that I was faking it. And again, this is stuff I explained, but this is all kind of just after the injury stuff. So it took probably 2 weeks before people realized that I wasn't faking this. Sorry, my hair's bugging me. And it was real. So anyway, the whole process after that was I got full arm casts immediately upon this happening. Well, they were technically splints, but they were light casts, just without the hard outer layer. And after that, I got, let me think. After that was, I think that was surgery, and then splints that were like smaller, and then the same size splints just taken off and then replaced. And then, come on, Finnegan. and then casts that were just on my wrists and didn't go all the way up my arm, which was awesome. In that time, however, everything became really challenging. Like, it wasn't just like I couldn't unscrew the jar that was like in my fridge. It became I couldn't open the fridge. I didn't have enough power to physically open a refrigerator. So I had to start finding kind of creative ways to do things. And I mean, call it a mechanical engineering brain if you want. I don't like to think of it like that because I think that any person with common sense would eventually figure this out. Finnegan, don't walk through this person's yard and pee on their bush and go around there. Oh my gosh, hold on. Oh my, dude. Okay, there we go. You see, I couldn't have untangled that leash that I'm holding for my dog 2 months ago. Anyway, Finn, you're the slowest puppy ever. I love you anyway. Okay, so yeah, in that whole time frame, starting with the full arm casts. So a question I get asked a lot is, how did I use the bathroom? Especially then, but like throughout the whole thing. Let me answer that with one simple phrase: on my own. if there was one thing I refused to let somebody else do for me, it was I refused to let somebody else help me in the bathroom. I was going to figure that out on my own. What's he sniffing? Finnegan, what are you sniffing, buddy? He says, nothing, let's move along. So I had to figure that out. I went to the bathroom for the first time with the full arm splint cast thingies, and I just made it work. I figured it out, and it was really weird, and I started having to wipe with my left hand. So if you're wondering how I did it, the way that they like casted me or put me in the splint or whatever it was for some reason my left wrist was at a little bit of a slant and my right wrist wasn't. And that wasn't because like it was broken and slanted like that. They just casted it like that. So that gave me enough to be able to reach it with my left hand and not my right hand. I know it's a gross detail, but I get that question all the time. And after the full arm cast, it was a lot easier with the other iterations. So I never had to have anybody help me in the bathroom. That being said, taking baths and showers was horrible. I couldn't take showers. I tried once, and it was one of the worst experiences of my entire life. I had to wear like swim trunks. I didn't have to, but like, you know, my dad had to help me, and anyway. So yeah, people ask like, how do I get clean? You know, how did I get clean in that time? Well, after we did that one time, and it was horrible, and I hated that, I had to like wear swim trunks and have my arms in like these big bag things that my mom bought, and they were like hoisted above my head. And yeah, after that I started doing baths instead. Baths went a lot smoother, but I still couldn't do much. So the extent of me getting clean was putting soapy water there, and then my family would like, again, while I was either wearing like swim trunks or underwear or something, they would like splash the water around, because that was like all that we could really do. I had like this like loofah type thing that was on a stick, and I could kind of reach, but that was only after I started being able to even hold things again. So that's another question I get asked a lot. How do I get clean? How do I eat? People had to feed me for a while. Actually, the person who recorded the whole incident, his name is Jimmy. He came over to my dorm the one day for the first time ever. He'd never been there before, and he just literally fed me a sandwich. It was great. It was a good bonding moment. But yeah, that's what we had to do whenever I would go to a restaurant, whenever I would, you know, eat in my own dorm. Like, I couldn't do things by myself. I had to have someone there helping me do that. So a lot of the answers to these questions are exactly what you would expect. I just had to have people there helping me. And I tried doing it in like the easiest, least intrusive way possible. And most of the time it worked out. But it was really discouraging. So around the same time as all this, I guess, you know, I was going through another really difficult time in my life, just because a lot of people that I, you know, was close to, you know, we just grew apart. And it was frustrating because, you know, the one time that I really need people's help, you know, I feel myself drifting away from them. So my dad started coming over to my college campus, and he would stay there for like a weekend at a time, like once every like 2 to 3 weekends, just to help me get work done. I couldn't type on the computer. He helped me do that. Couldn't write. He helped me do that. He sat there for hours and hours and hours, just like every like 2 or 3 weekends, just typing assignments up for me, writing things for me. My mom paid some dude, who's, I guess, the son of one of her friends, like $100 or something to help me type up some big assignment that I need to do, some lab report. And then that brings me to another question that people ask a lot. So what is the campus doing about this? Well, sort of a weird answer. So I had to go to like the disabilities place on my campus, is like the Student Services Learning Center building, whatever it's called. And they hooked me up with this one lady who was, you know, it's like her job to like help me and all this stuff. And it was really tricky figuring out, it's still really tricky, I still have to do this. It's really tricky figuring out when I can go in to like make up tests and quizzes and all this stuff, because I can't take them with the rest of the class. Instead, I have to do it there. And so it became really challenging to figure out when I was free and when she was free in order to make all these up. So that's still something I have to do. So basically the way it goes is once every 1 to 2 weeks, I go to the learning center. Oh, Finn wants to go this way. Okay. I go to the learning center, and then I just back to back make up all this work that I missed. No breaks, anything like that. The only breaks I get really are when I get fatigued or when my wrists start hurting, because I found that I'm able to write on a whiteboard because all that is holding my arm up and moving my arm like this. It doesn't really wear too much on my wrist, so I can kind of sloppily write on a whiteboard. But on a piece of paper, I have to like hold it suspended. It gets fatigued really quickly. It starts hurting and all this stuff. And that's gotten a little bit better. I've been practicing writing since then, but that's why I have to do this stuff. The campus was supposed to assign me somebody to help me with assignments, just like in their free time, just the things that my dad was doing. But they took a really long time to do it. I think it took 3 weeks for them to assign somebody. And by the 3-week point, I already had a system figured out, because I didn't really have a choice. I had to figure something out. Most of my professors were pretty lenient. They were, for the most part, like, yeah, get the assignments in when you can, you know, like, let me know if you need any extended dates, or you know, like, you don't have to take this quiz, or you can skip this, just show up for this, and all that, you know. I did get a note taker, so that was good. One of my friends is still actually getting paid by the campus to take notes for me until basically the end of the semester. But I do have this one professor who is a real stickler. He is just something else. He said, I have to do the same thing as everybody else. I'm held to basically the same standards as everybody else. And if I can't keep up with it, then I fail. So luckily it's not too difficult of a class. But still, it was frustrating because I didn't realize that it wasn't going to be like as taxing as the other classes. Don't get me wrong. It's still a lot of work. It's still hours every week I have to dump into this. Hours more than the average student has to dump into this because everything's a lot harder now. But, I mean, as you can see, that's been a good excuse to get some practice in. You know, I've been able to hold this phone up for this long. It's been, 12 and a half minutes. So, yeah. Next question is, what do they look like? Like, what do they do? So I explained this before. They put 2 pins in this one that were sticking out. So whenever they would have like the cast or any of the splints or anything like that after the surgery, it would have a big bubble there. That's where the pins were sticking out of my arm. On this side, the phone screen is all wet because it's raining. On the other side, I've got this big like scar. You can see that's where the stitching was and all that. So actually, one thing that this did really mess with was my plans. I was going to the gym every day. I was running a mile every day. Then I had a separate group of ab workouts that I did. I wasn't allowed to do any of that other than the ab workouts afterwards. And then that just completely demotivated me from doing the ab workouts. So I just stopped going to the gym entirely because I wasn't allowed to. I stopped working out entirely. Luckily, I didn't get too out of shape, I don't think, at least. But yeah, that was frustrating because I was really on a roll there. I'm not gonna lie. I was doing really well. So I'm worried about getting back into going to the gym because I feel like it's gonna be really demoralizing to see the weight drop and the fatigue that sets in a lot earlier. But I'm gonna try doing that next semester, just because I still can't really lift heavy things. I can just lift sometimes medium weight things. So another thing, instead of going to the gym, I dumped a lot of time into YouTube. I started live streaming. I was already planning on doing live streams more often, but this was like the pushing factor to like start doing way more live streams because I didn't have anything else to do. I didn't have anywhere else to go. I don't really have anyone to hang out with, and the people I did have to hang out with, I don't have anything to do with them. I can't go bowling with them. I can't go roller skating with them. Like, I could barely go out to eat with them because I feel like an idiot because they had to feed me half the time. So, I just kind of stayed in my room and did my thing. And that's been a pretty good experience. I'm really glad. That's at least one of the silver linings. So that's good at least. So other than that, that's pretty much the whole healing process of what's been going on. I go to physical therapy once a week. Well, once every 1 to 2 weeks. They schedule me kind of sporadically. And it's just, they give me exercises to do with my wrists and with my fingers and all this stuff. Make sure I'm trying to get full range of motion back. I'm almost all the way there, I think. And yeah, I've had to come home like every weekend. So it's good that I don't have a girlfriend at this time, because when I did, I never wanted to come home. Now I always want to come home. But it would have been nice to have someone else there for me to like help feed me and do all that things that like cutesy couples do. Except it wouldn't be cutesy, it would be out of necessity because I physically couldn't feed myself. Anyway, I thought that was kind of a funny thing to think about. Other than that, I mean, recently I've been able to drive again, which is good. I like driving. I do not like paying for gas, but I like driving. Yeah, oh, actually, something interesting. The handicap entrance to my building was broken. So, like, you'd press the button and the door's supposed to open, but it wouldn't. So, finally, and this is, like, in the back, so this wasn't the normal entrance. So, I put in a request, and then finally they fixed it. So, I go in through the handicap entrance the one day, I press the button, the door opens, and it brings you to this other area. It's like this little, like, secluded room. And the only place to go is through one of two doors that neither of them have a button to press to get in. Like, you press the button to get into that area, and the only way to go is by opening up a door yourself, which is the exact, it blows my mind how no one thought of that. So, and then like when I went to the student services building, the one building on campus that should have handicap accessibility, the button was broken. And I think then they fixed it too, but that's a common trend. I've noticed a lot that, I thought a lot of this process would honestly be, well, easier and more difficult in different ways. I thought it'd be more difficult in the sense of like, I thought that it would like, I don't know, I guess I thought that it would take way longer than it has. So I'm glad about that I'm healing faster than I had anticipated. But I also thought that like, my campus would be more accommodating. You know, they've been helpful to a degree, and, you know, that's good, but there's just been so many issues with, like, everything. Everything is a hassle. Everything takes 3 weeks of paperwork. Everything, like, you know, it's just not easy, you know? Everything is like, you know, for example, I call into the Learning Center or I email them trying to figure out when I can make up some of my work. I have class every day from the morning until 4 p.m., and they said, oh yeah, we leave at 4 p.m. so we can't do after that. And I said, well, I don't want to miss my classes. So would someone be able to stay after 4 p.m.? And they say, no, miss your classes or you can't go. So I found this, you know, small like window of time. It's a couple hours, like once a week, where I do have, if I need to make up assignments and stuff. But I guess it's frustrating that, you know, a lot of people haven't really considered how taxing it has been on me who are like working at the campus. And I'm not saying this is like, you know, woe is me, pity me, all this stuff, because I've been able to figure it out just fine. But it's frustrating if like the people who are supposed to, you know, provide you with these accommodations are like, no, I'm actually leaving at this time, no exceptions, like you can only do it then, and the button doesn't work, and then this button doesn't work, and the button that does work brings you to a place where like it's just, I don't know. And then like 3 weeks of paperwork for everything, it's just been frustrating. But other than the frustration aspect, you know, it's honestly been pretty fine. It's been really nice coming home to see my family, and especially my little puppy dog, pretty much every week. So that's been pretty awesome. I get some random days off from school because I have to miss it for physical therapy. And it's nice to have an excuse to leave. I mean, I know in college, you don't need to have an excuse. You can just skip class. Don't tell my mom I said that. And Mom, if you're watching, I don't do that. But in all seriousness, you know, it is nice to not have to worry about like missing assignments, because the campus did provide me with somebody to take my notes for me and all that. If you guys have any other questions about this whole process, I'd love to answer them in the comment section. Yeah, I'm back at my house now. So I guess that's the end of the video. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this is sort of a different video than I normally make. I typically make videos about, you know, little crazy things. But I couldn't really do that this week because I've just been really busy. So, yeah. New cool stuff coming next week. Tune in for my live streams all the time, and I'll answer any questions you guys have in the comments. Please consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in... Honestly, I'm probably live right now, honestly, while you're watching this. Who knows? All right, I'm gonna do the peace out thing, but I don't have my other hand, so I'm gonna salute with this hand. You get the salute POV. Whew. Peace out, Epic Gamers.